In an age of digital communications, the ability of governments to monitor their population's phone calls and emails is well known. But what happens when the government's own communications are secretly recorded and its backroom dealings revealed? That is what appears to have happened in the small Balkan country of Macedonia, where the opposition socialist leader Zoran Zaev has released thousands of recorded phone calls made by members of the centre-right government of Nikola Gruevski. If true, they reveal a government that has fixed elections, manipulated courts, and misused public funds.
They imitate more than 100,000 fake IDs during the election. That is more than 10% of voters, or near the 10% of voters. They steal money from the budget and use this money for paying more than 50,000 voters also. So they completely make a robbery of the election process.
We asked Mr. Gruevski's government to respond to these claims. Macedonia's foreign minister said the tapes did not provide evidence for Mr. Zaev's allegations on voter IDs, and that the government had merely issued IDs to eligible citizens. The government has already said the taped phone calls have been selectively edited and are being used by Mr. Zaev for blackmail. Mr. Gruevski came to office as an enterprising modernizer in 2006 and had early successes in attracting investment and reforming the country's tax system. But his critics say he has abused power and focused on vanity projects, like the lavish refashioning of the city centre of Skopje, Macedonia's capital.
He must resign. He knows that. Inside the soul, he knows that resignation must come.
The opposition allegations against Mr. Gruevski have provoked a vicious political crisis, but one that was mainly domestically contained. It was when 22 men were killed in armed clashes with a terrorist group in Kumanovo that Macedonia risked turning from the site of a domestic political crisis into the source of a regional security conflagration. So far, ethnic tensions with Albanians, who make up 1/3 of the population, have been relatively subdued. Instead, the effect of the crisis has been to refocus Western attention on an area of the Balkans that has received scant political attention in recent years. The events have been an uncomfortable reminder for Western capitals of unfinished business. The Kumanovo attacks and subsequent resignation of 3 senior figures in government has emboldened Mr. Gruevski's opponents, who have held daily protests calling for the government to quit.
The majority of the people think that what happened in Kumanovo a week ago was their strategy to frighten us.
This government in the beginning had its true morals, but after a while lost its control and weakened the opposition so much that we got into a situation where they got super corrupted.
We have this small group of people from the governing party that control everything. The prime minister, his first cousin was until recently the chief of the secret police, and his best man from the second wedding was the minister of finance. He's still the minister of finance. So we have no free media because, as several of the bombs revealed, there is a huge coercion between what the prime minister and the chief of secret police demand, and they control every single piece of information that gets published on the largest national mainstream media. So every single critical thought is extinguished right away. Every person that dares to criticize the government is stigmatized, is declared to be traitor of the nation.
The government has since held its own mass demonstration on Monday and firmly rejects Mr. Zaev's calls. Ministers say they are open to dialogue and reform, but they insist they have a democratic mandate to govern. Western mediators are seeking to bridge these differences and forge a consensus while avoiding a spillover of instability into the region. But satisfying both sides in this increasingly polarized country will prove a challenge for Western governments, one that serves as a reminder of lingering tensions in the Balkans. Andrew Byrne, Financial Times, Skopje, Macedonia.